This is Ann. Thanks for joining us tonight on Jam. We've got a great show for you tonight. Chris Watson with some Jammin' news. Gary Bell with a record report. Duncan with the Metal Menace. And of course, Pat with product report. But first, we have some Jammin' Jazz with Group Therapy.
with the record reviews. Today was a good day. We came up with the new Duran Duran single. It's called Union of the Snake. It's off the forthcoming album called Seven and the Ragged Tiger. I figured since it was brand new and the album won't be out till the 10th of November, I'd give you guys a sneak peek. Union of the Snake, which basically made its debut on MTV here in America, is really a different approach for Duran Duran. In fact, throughout the song, you almost feel like David Bowie's about to come out and do a duet with lead singer Simon Le Bon. It's alright, it's nothing superb. Now on the other hand, Secret October, the B-side, it's really quite drab, and well, the way I see it is, I guess they needed some filler for the B-side. If you're a Duran Duran head, you'll love it. I like it. It's okay. Also, on side A, there's an extended version of Union of the Snake, which is kind of also drab. I mean, what do you expect? They're from England. I recommend you get it if you're a Duran head. If you're not, then don't. 4 years ago, Scott Reiser and Rachel Weber saw how the direction of music was going in San Francisco and formed units with then-drummer Brad Sanders to search out the new world of techno-electronic pop. Their first album, Digital Stimulation, on 415 Records, was to say the least a bit obscure and really shallow. It subsequently didn't receive the attention it could have. That was 1980. 3 years later, now in 1983, Reiser and Weber have come back with new members David Allen Jr. and Jabari Allen to release the long-awaited follow-up to that album called New Way to Move. It is also an EP. It's on Epic Records. God, what a difference 3 years can make. New Way to Move is quite tasty for an EP, and it's very full-sounding. Just the opposite of their last album. Of the 6 songs, The Right Man, A Girl Like You, which was produced by Michael Totten of the Tubes, and More Alike, should prove to be big dance hits in the clubs. New Way to Move, as I said, is an EP, and it's specially priced. And is a good way, really, to familiarize yourself with the units if you don't know who they are, because San Francisco techno-pop is on the move. As a follow-up to No Respect, Rodney Dangerfield has used the better part of the last year to break in some new material for his club act and has committed it to vinyl for his latest album, Rappin' Rodney, which is on RCA Records. Recorded at the Catch a Rising Star nightclub in New York, Rappin' contains some language that may be considered offensive by some, but nonetheless Dangerfield's sense of humor always hits home with a bang. The surprise on this album isn't the humor or the abundance of it. In fact, it's the studio cut of Rappin' Rodney, which is basically Rodney doing his vintage No Respect material over some music. It's rather funny, and also a video of this should be popping up on MTV real soon. Rodney Dangerfield is now 2 for 2 in the hit comedy department, and this tie-jerking, comedian is certainly gaining the respect that he says he doesn't get. This is a very funny album. If you have the chance, don't pass it up. Ever wonder what musicians do when they're not on the road or in the recording studios with their own bands? Well, if you had Kim Carnes' latest album, Cafe Racers, on EMI Records, you'd know the answer. On Cafe Racers, which is the follow-up to Voyeur, which was the follow-up to Mistaken Identity, that's the one that had Kim Carnes' eyes. Remember that one? I'm still trying to forget him. Carnes assembled quite an impressive list of friends on this album to help out, or among which are Martin Page and Brian Fairweather of Q-Feel, David Page, Steve Lukather, and Steve Percara of Toto, John Waite, B.P. Herding of Classics Nouveau, and also on this album are Mark Andes and Denny Carmassi of Heart. Whew, impressive indeed. It's evident that this album is heavily influenced by the techno-electronic offerings of Page and Fairweather, who co-wrote with Carnes her first single, Invisible Hands. Great single. It would be easy enough also to say, with all these friends, that Carnes doesn't do any work on this album. Not so. Out of the 10 songs, she's either written outright or co-written 5 of them, which is more than I can say for some artists. You hear me, Frida? Okay, get my drift. The most fulfilling aspect of this album is that throughout the entire album, there is something that anybody can get into. From techno-pop to contemporary pop, it's all there. Cafe Racers will undoubtedly be tearing up the charts real soon because it just came out a couple days ago. Not only with Invisible Hands, but with Young Love and another song called You Make My Heart Beat Faster. Also, there's another catch to this. There might be a song which could be a crossover hit into the country charts. That is I'll Be Where the Heart Is, which is, it's kind of techno, but it's more country than techno, so obviously country will like it better. We'll just have to sit back, park the Vespa, have a cup of espresso, wait it out, and see. This album, I recommend it highly.
metal on the upswing again. Bands like Def Leppard, Motley Crue, and Quiet Riot are finally getting the recognition they deserve, thanks to MTV. Add to the ranks another band on its way up, Rat. Rat has been touring the West Coast and playing as many dates as they possibly can. Now with the release of their debut album, and hopefully some videos soon, this band is surely in for a healthy future. The album has a good full sound with its twin guitar attack, powerful vocals, and strong rhythm section, and that's clearly evident on the album's opening cut, Sweet Cheater. One sour note though, the album only has about 20 minutes of music on it, and it's not being sold at an EP price. But if you're a true metal fan, you'll find it's worth the money anyway. I went out and bought this one for myself, and you should too.
Hello, this is Chris Watson with some Jammin' News here on the 4th edition of Jam. On the local scene here, Two Stud, or Stud 2, or whatever it may be called. It's a new club in Lodi, and we reported about it on the last show, but right now it's officially open. Where Primetime will be playing there this weekend, the weekend of 11, 12, and 13 to grand open the whole thing. And the club is located on North School Street in Lodi, and we'll keep you updated on who's going to be there and everywhere else in town in the future. On a broader scope, Annabella Lewin has left Bow Wow Wow for the second time. The first time she left, Boy George replaced her for a short stint. Then he left to form Culture Club, and Annabella was back in, but now she's left again, and it looks like it's for good. But the band's saying that they asked her to leave, and she decided to do so. So she plans to pursue a solo career, and the rest of the band doesn't know if they're going to add new members or not, but I'm sure they'll decide quick enough. Gary just a little while reviewed the new single by Duran Duran. The LP, Seven and the Ragged Tiger, is being released today, the 10th. It's been in San Francisco stockhouses for about a week, but Capital EMI have been holding on to it until today. The first single off the record, Union of the Snake, is in the record stores already, of course, and the video is, of course, playing on MTV right now and other programs. I personally think the song is great, but interestingly enough, a reviewer for Melody Maker magazine in England described these songs from their fellow countrymen as whoever wrote the lyrics to this song should be taken out and having their fingers sawn off. Now, they may think that way, but at any rate, next show we're going to be reviewing the album Seven and the Ragged Tiger, and I'm sure we can do at least a little more cheery overview on the new release. The movie Mike's Murder has a new release date now. We reported on this during a record review last show, and sometime around mid-December is when the film is going to be re-released after an exclusive premiere showing in the Midwest, where the audiences who saw it didn't quite react the way the producers wanted them to. So the film was recalled, and for some re-editing, reshoot of some new scenes, and totally dumping the soundtrack, which was composed by Joe Jackson, opting for some totally different material. The producers of the movie call it a wholly different new movie, and hopefully, they say, the movie will be accepted a little more easier by audiences this time around. In the Jam Tidbit department, some little things here. The local band Straw Dogs will be going down to LA area this month to record an EP. Also, on November 23rd, at the Jesters Club on West Lane, Private Joke and Aaron Manor will put on a show, which, incidentally, that band is the Reformed Lefty, which we reported on the last show also. There they are. Go catch them. Spot the Dog, a local synth rock band, is currently in the studio. This very one, right here, recording one of their original tunes for the soundtrack to a video that they'll be going into production on very soon. The video of the song, Adventures in Anxiety, will, according to the band, be sent into the MTV Basement tapes for competition up against a lot of others. Here's some information on some new releases, new records in the stores, and coming in pretty soon. In the In department, LP-wise, Eddie Murphy's Comedian album, Juice Newton, Dirty Looks, Night Ranger's new album. We had a great interview with a couple of guys in that band, and their new album out, Midnight Madness, is in. Lionel Richie, Can't Slow Down. Pointer Sisters' new album, Breakout, is in. Alan Parsons has a best of album right now. Oak Ridge Boys with Deliver. Ray Parker Jr., Woman Out of Control. I heard a slow song off that album, and it is great. Paul McCartney's brand new Pipes of Peace is finally out in the stores. Willie Nelson, Without a Song. Bob Dylan's first album in I don't know how long, his new album, Infidels, is in. Phil Judd, who is an ex-member of Split Enz, way back when they first got started in New Zealand. Phil Judd, The Swinger, is in right now. It's an EP. Hall & Oates, Best of Part 1 thing, Rock and Soul is in right now. And Blue Oyster Cult, The Revolution by Night. Coming in a little while to the stores are a bunch of really great albums. Stuff like ABC's Beauty Stab. Adam Ant's brand new album Strip is coming in. I can't wait for that one. Stuart Copeland's new soundtrack to Rumblefish will be coming in a little bit. Earth, Wind and Fire, Electric Universe. Billy Joel's new album Cold Spring Harbor coming in a little while. Olivia Newton-John with her soundtrack to Two of a Kind. Ozzy Osbourne, Bark at the Moon. The Rolling Stones LP coming in a little while, somewhere around the end of the month, called Undercover. U2, brand new EP coming out called Under a Blood Red Sky. Yes' new album 80102 will be in a little while, and also Billy Idol's brand new album. As far as the singles are concerned, Kansas's Everyone's My Friend is up in the racks right now. Spandau Ballet's follow-up, really not their follow-up. This was released quite a while ago and now re-released in 7-inch form. Gold from their brand new album is out. The Police's Synchronicity 2, cool video. The single's in the racks right now. Olivia Newton-John's Two of a Kind single is in. There's a funny story to that. Gary Bell, who reviews our records, went down to Tower Records here in Stockton and picked up the single. When he brought it home, he found somebody else's record in the sleeve. He thought that was a bit strange, and then even more strange when he went down there, checked all of them out, and they were all the same. So right now we don't have that single, but in a little while I hope we will. Also, Men Without Hats, their follow-up to Safety Dance, I Like.
Huh, he likes it.
Yeah, but I like this.
Wait a minute, what's that?
It's Jam, man.
Jam?
Yeah, you know, the local music magazine that's had Wolfman Jack and Ronnie James Dio of Black Sabbath and lots of other local and national talent.
No way, this is Jam, woman.
What are you doing to my jamming record?
Hey, just shut up and listen to MGB. Do
product report. This fly swatter doesn't work worth beans. However, if you're after a delay line, we have all sorts of delays for you tonight. Right here, my friendly hand has in hand Ibanez analog delay AD80. If you want to remember such a thing, what you should remember about a small delay line like this is some of them don't have a blend control. You would want a blend control because otherwise you can't control your blend. Also has AC adapter, which sometimes works and sometimes doesn't work so well. So lots of my people that use this little item here find that they like to put in 2 little batteries and it makes it work a little bit quieter, and you don't have to worry about your AC adapter breaking. Thank you, Mr. Hand. There you go. Now then, over on this side, one of the AC models, MXR analog delay with no number because it's a great big job that you can't even mistake. It's very green. Once again, the 3 controls, the regular delay, mix, and regeneration, which is how much you want to fold it back in for all of you people. Has very good characteristics, and not only that, but it's kind of sturdy too. But here's something you might want to note. This little rack mount unit here, 19 inches across, is the Maxon DM1000. Any place else in the world, except the United States, this is called Maxon. In the United States, for some reason, they want to call it Ibanez and charge you lots of money. However, sometimes you can find it under this name, Maxon, and it does the same thing. Now, for those people like me who have a guitar player just happen to be hanging around the house, hey, guitar player, here is your average guitar player here on this side, right here. Now then, he knows how to use this unit. He's going to demonstrate for us the Maxon DM1000 digital delay that you can buy too. Now then, sir, what have you for us here today? You probably have some type of delay effect here, being as it's a digital delay, correct?
Yes, this is more or less just a regular quick echo. Sounds like this, kind of.
Yes, quick echoes. Okay, now to something a little bit longer, I believe. Okay, a longer echo for you. Yes, put me right to sleep. Okay. Is that the longest echo it has, though?
Yes, that's the longest echo.
Okay, now I happen to know that the echo on this unit is about 900 milliseconds, 1,000 milliseconds being almost a whole second there. So that's pretty close. Now, that little Ibanez I had, is that Ibanez down here, Mr. Hand? About 300 milliseconds of delay, not quite a half a second. Thank you, Mr. Hand. Now then, you have here for us what type of effect now, Mr. Guitar Player?
Okay, now we can get a flanging or chorusing effect off this too. This is the flanging mode.
Let's see. Missing persons, I recognize it right off the bat. Yes, okay. Good flanging effect out of this machine. What else can we do here?
Well, we'll get the chorusing effect.
Chorusing effect. Now, you can't use all these effects at the same time out of the same unit, correct?
No.
Okay, it's one at a time. Yes, stereo chorusing. This is a stereo effect, correct? Stereo effect. Not too shabby. We recommend this unit a lot. Maxon DM1000 digital delay. Now, of course, it's going to cost you a couple $100, whereas the Ibanez battery-operated unit is not going to cost you quite as much. Obviously, it doesn't do quite as much, but 300 milliseconds might be what you need. This is fairly quiet. Digital delay, obviously, more price, more stuff you can do with. Do you have another effect here for us?
Sure.
He's got them all. You mean it goes all by itself? This is an amazing machine. Can you turn it off? No, but he can play along on top. Okay, but you can't put delay on top of delay, correct? Okay, so maybe what you might want to do is have one of this delay doing that, and then, thank you, Mr. Hand, you might want to have one of these delays hooked in line so you can have another delay on top of delay. Or maybe you just want to play Lynyrd Skynyrd and never use this effect at all. That's fine. This has been our product report. By the way, fly swatters only work if you hit the fly. Jammin' with Jam. It's the end of the show. Over on that far side is Gary. Behind him is our producer, Kent. This is Duncan Atkinson beside me. Back here is Bob Cat and, of course, Christopher Lynn. I am Pat O'Shaughnessy, and the Moz Muznet
is not here because you could tell the difference if she were. But next week, perhaps so. We don't know what we're going to do for the next show because we never know what's flying through the air above us. But we're sure you'll have a good time if you come with us and be Jammin' with Jam.
Hey, are you a local band and would like to reach the Stockton-Lodi area? Are you an unemployed musician looking for a band, or a band looking for a musician? Or would you like to sponsor Jam? Hey, there's an idea. Well, you can accomplish all these things by simply writing us at Jam, that's J-A-M, P.O. Box, B-O-X, 9400 Stockton, California 95208, and let us know who you are and what you play and how we can get a hold of you. Thanks to Tower Records of Stockton for donating records to Mr. Gary Bell's internationally recognized record reviews. And thank you especially to our generous sponsors, Calico Video on Thornton Road across from the Elks Lodge, and Luigi Murphy's of Stockton on West March Lane across from the Hilton. Jam is produced and directed by Kent Russell, in association with the members of Spot the Dog, Duncan Atkinson, Gary Bell, Pat O'Shaughnessy, Chris Watson, and Ann Mosnett. Tonight's group therapy video was directed by Doug Arlanis. And a humongous thanks to two fine cameramen for some hot work on tonight's Jam, Dave Smith and John Reed. Join us every week as Jam jamifies with you on this same Jammin' channel at this same Jammin' time.
Ah!